I will burn this planet down.
Welcome to the wild world of Viltrumites, a species so strong, so terrifying, they make Superman look like he skipped leg day. But just how powerful is your average, everyday Viltrumite? Not Omni-Man, not Thragg, just the middle-class Viltrumite with a 9-to-5 job in planetary annihilation. Today, we're breaking down their strength, speed, flight capability, durability, and more, comparing it all to real-world science. Because if we're gonna die in a Viltrumite invasion, we might as well know how much it'll hurt. First off, who are the Viltrumites? In Invincible, they're a race of humanoid aliens from the planet Viltrum. Think Spartans, but with superpowers, spaceflight, and a world domination hobby. Unlike most aliens, Viltrumites don't rely on technology. Their bodies are the tech. Evolved under high gravity, they developed insane strength, bone density, healing, and resilience. And thanks to selective breeding and a little genocide, only the strongest survived, literally. They wiped out the weak in a mass civil war. Survival of the fittest, on steroids. Viltrumites don't age like humans either. They grow stronger for centuries before hitting their prime, meaning that young Viltrumite you saw wrecking a city might be 300 years old and still considered a trainee. Let's start with raw strength. In both the comic and animated series, even unnamed Viltrumites perform feats that would shatter every bone in a human body just by thinking about them. In the show, we've seen Mark and his dad tear through tanks, punch through reinforced steel, and throw people miles. In the comics, Viltrumite soldiers have literally ripped people in half, destroyed buildings with one punch, and even held their own against massive alien kaiju. So what does this mean in real-world physics? Lifting a main battle tank weighs about 60 tons. We've seen Viltrumites throw that casually. But throwing isn't just lifting, it's accelerating mass. To launch a 60-ton tank 100 meters, you'd need roughly 1.4 million newtons of force. That's about the same force a Saturn V rocket engine produces at launch. So yes, an average Viltrumite could beat a rocket engine in arm wrestling. In real-life strength tiers, we'd place the average Viltrumite at 100 to 200 tons of lifting strength, easily. Enough to crush most Marvel heroes and all Olympic records in one casual flex. Now let's talk about how fast these maniacs can move. Flight is one of the Viltrumite's signature powers. And no, they don't use jetpacks. They just do it. We're never told how they fly. Telekinetic force? Gravitational manipulation? Sheer willpower? Who knows? But they fly fast and freely through both space and atmosphere. In the show, we've seen Mark and Omni-Man fly from city to city in seconds, which puts their atmospheric speed at around Mach 10 or 7,600 miles per hour. That's 10 times faster than sound and about 10 times faster than a commercial jet. In space, it's even more absurd. Omni-Man travels from Earth to another star system in a matter of weeks. That's billions of miles. At least a tiny percentage of light speed. While we can't say for sure how fast your average Viltrumite can go in space, it's safe to say they're interplanetary. They're like flying Tesla roadsters, except alive, angry, and allergic to peace talks. You might think, sure, they're strong, but they must be squishy somewhere, right? Wrong. Hitting a Viltrumite is like punching a concrete wall that hits back. Let's break this down. Atmospheric re-entry? No problem. We've seen them fall from orbit, burning through Earth's atmosphere at 3,000 degrees C, then get up and dust off their armor. Mark gets hit by trains, tanks, and entire buildings, and that's considered a bad day, not a death sentence. In real-world terms, Viltrumite skin and bones likely have the tensile strength of advanced alloys. Imagine armor made from carbon nanotubes, but it's your skin. We estimate that Viltrumites can withstand impacts of tens of thousands of pounds per square inch, which is comparable to the bite force of a great white shark, if that shark were dropped from space. And their organs? Well, either their hearts are reinforced with Kevlar, or their lungs are filled with plot armor. Because even internal damage takes massive effort to inflict. Bonus, they don't need oxygen. Space, deep ocean, toxic gas, doesn't matter. If there's a fight, they're breathing through sheer rage. stamina, and healing. Now let's talk staying power. Viltrumites don't just fight, they brawl for hours. Even after getting limbs broken, organs crushed, and faces slammed into satellite dishes, they keep going. Their healing factor isn't instant, like Deadpool or Wolverine, but it's absurdly fast by human standards. We've seen characters recover from broken ribs, punctured lungs, and concussions within days, sometimes hours. And their stamina? Imagine running a marathon while bench pressing a car. Now do that in space during a war with no food or sleep. That's a Tuesday for a Viltrumite. Not just brute force, Viltrumites are trained warriors. From birth, they fight in coordinated squadrons, using aerial tactics, pressure points, and high-speed maneuvers mid-air. An average Viltrumite has centuries of combat experience. They're the Space Marines of the galaxy, but immortal, angry, and capable of disemboweling you at Mach speed. Imagine Bruce Lee fused with Superman, then raised by a Viking warlord. That's a regular Viltrumite soldier. Now you might be wondering, could anything realistically move like this? Short answer, not without breaking every law of physics. Their muscle output alone violates human biology. No known material, bone, sinew, or tissue, could withstand the force a Viltrumite produces without disintegrating. And don't get me started on the G-forces involved in their flight. But that's the beauty of fiction. Science says no. Viltrum says, hold my beer. Even gods have flaws, and Viltrumites aren't totally invincible. They're vulnerable to each other. Viltrumite on Viltrumite violence is basically their version of a handshake, alien diseases like the Scourge virus. And of course, plot devices, because even space gods can't fight a good twist. But your average human? Yeah, no, not a chance. You die before the fight even starts. So let's summarize. An average Viltrumite has the strength to lift tanks, the speed to outrun jets, the durability of a space shuttle, and the combat skills of a UFC champion with wings. In Marvel terms, stronger than most X-Men. In DC terms, somewhere between Superboy and pre-crisis Superman on a caffeine high. In real life, they're walking warheads wrapped in abs and arrogance. So next time someone says, yeah, I could take a Viltrumite, ask them if their life insurance covers planetary beatdowns. Thanks for watching, Earthlings. Like, share, and subscribe for more scientifically absurd breakdowns of fictional characters that could destroy us in their sleep. And remember, if someone with a mustache shows up floating outside your window,